Hello there, and first of all, I just want to welcome you to the team. This is going to be a kind of a quick onboarding training showing you how the team works, some of the expectations that we have, and just why it's awesome. So this is a quick picture of all of us at the last Christmas party we had. It is a ton of fun. We have a lot of fun together. We try to meet up once, at least every 2 months. This was like games and dinner and a white elephant, and this was a escape room, which is pretty awesome. Sorry, half our heads are cut off, but way fun. It's like a zombie escape room and stuff, so we do like to get together and have fun, and it's super fun to be a part of the team. So let's talk about what is the brand. Competitively awesome content. So we want to be trendy but timeless. That's kind of our company slogan, is trendy yet timeless wedding imagery. What that means is, like, some people will do like shots of people like making out or like doing it in a waterfall, something that like you really wouldn't want to show your grandkids. We want to like make sure that they're like clean, nice, good poses, but also like they're trendy, right? So they have the cool filters, like whatever's kind of like in style. So it's important to kind of balance those two. So it's something they can actually look at forever. So we also really want to be customer oriented. This is their wedding video and pictures. It's not ours. So we're not doing it for our own portfolio. We're doing it for theirs. That's why we let them pick the songs, even though sometimes their songs are not very good for their video, for example. We let them pick it because it is theirs, and we're doing it for them. So we try to let them pick the locations and really let them just have a great experience. And of course we recommend, and we have plenty of opportunities where we do recommend. So and then we're very professional. We're on time, we're well dressed, we're responsive. Dress is basically business casual, so as long as you feel comfortable, being at a reception, no jeans. Generally it's for men, it's going to be like a collared shirt, and then like either khakis or something like that. So you're not in like a suit or anything, but like collared shirt and khakis. And then for women, it's generally just like a nice top, and then leggings are fine, or any kind of like dark professional pants or whatever works. And I don't know that as well, but as long as you feel comfortable being on temple grounds and being at a reception. But it is really important to me that you are responsive to your clients, because I think it's unprofessional when we're not, and so it's really important that we're always responding to them. So we do have a certain look. We use the VSCO presets, and Amelia will kind of go over that in the photography training. She'll show you where to download those and use those. And then we also have certain LUTs, which is basically just a preset for video, although we try to keep it natural and clean. So let's do a quick website tour, just so you can kind of see what the customer is seeing when they book. Okay, so this is our Diamond Special. It's our most popular thing. It's $1,200 for now. The prices will change. And they are looking at a couple different wedding videos. A couple of first looks here. Pumpkin patch. There's a bunch. And so we won't watch all of these, but I would recommend that you do, because this is the standard of quality that obviously it's got to match, because this is what they're seeing. So that's what they're seeing as far as video, and then it goes over the exact package breakdown of like what they're gonna get, the deliverables here, all that stuff. So then we have our accolades here. We filmed over 22 states combined. We are Utah's leading photo video wedding team with over 500 weddings shot and edited, and that's like at least, because, and we're talking about combined together, but like we've done like 300 this year, so it's probably a lot more than that. And this is Brennan's texting number, aka my texting number. So this is the only one you'll give out to clients, not my personal number. This is my business number. So, and then this is the photos that they're seeing. So this is really important for you to look at, just so you kind of have an idea. It's not like super dark and moody, and it's not like we're like Duke Moose or whatever, where we have like only one certain style. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying we like to like be experimental, and as long as it's like a high quality image that's like, it's kind of got that more like trendy, dark and moody tone, although that's maybe the wrong word for it. So all these kind of have a similar edit, a similar look, and this is kind of what we want to be doing for our clients. And so I will say, whenever you see like a commercial for like I don't know, like a car, it doesn't matter what kind of car, they're going to show you the fully loaded version with the GPS, with the nice tires, and they're going to say, oh yeah, this is you know, these cars are amazing starting at $14,000. Well, obviously the fully loaded model that you're seeing is like $30,000, right? But like they have the really cheap version for $14,000. So that's sort of an analogy where like this is gonna, like, on the website is like the best of the best, right? Like this is like that one or two awesome picture you take from every single you know, there's the one or two ones you want to actually post from each wedding. Obviously not every single picture from your portfolio is going to look like one of these, but you should have, you know, 10 to 20 amazing pictures that are like, wow, I want to put this on the website, I want to put this everywhere. Those are your like fully loaded models, if that makes sense. So there is that. So yeah, make sure you check the website. It is kind of changing quite a bit, but at least you know, it's important that you know how you're seeing what our contractors are seeing, and you're aware that like you try to make your stuff match. Okay, so this is our wedding guide / contract. We're not going to go over it in full, but I just wanted to show you what it is. So this is what each of our, it's a PDF, it's online. This is what each of our clients read before they book. This is how they make their decision to book or not. So all this information is literally just our contract. So it talks about, like, you know, their retainer, talks about the style, tells the contact, which we'll go over, song choice that they get to pick, you know, duration, how long is the wedding video going to be, it's highlight style, we don't record like all the way through with like camcorders, you get a meal break between the 4.5 hours, payments due on the wedding, and then there's some reviews and stuff. So it does kind of go over this. I really recommend checking this out. Just protects us if technology fails, if there's a huge blizzard. There's no, if they have to change their date, that's fine. There's no fee, but we'll change it for them. We're happy to give them out footage, just kind of stuff like that. So it really actually helps in the process for our clients to decide to pick us. And then of course it goes over our add-on options. And then it has a free location guide here. And I'm sorry, this has been really compressed. I promise these were good images. This is for them to pick their locations. So it just kind of shows examples. If you have some, please let us know, because we would love to get some added on here. I think it's just really valuable for our clients. It's also helpful for us because then we get used to shooting at kind of the same places over and over. So please send me 3 pictures of the location that you want to add, and we will definitely get it added. We're adding everywhere. You know, we've got Arches, we've got Sahara, so we've got some places. Of course, there are travel fees that you will get paid that goes directly to you if they choose that. So there is that. So that's our wedding guide. Make sure you kind of read it over and just kind of know, you know, what to expect. So media management is really important for final videos. We're putting all of the final, putting them on Google Drive to give to our clients. For Pixieset, for photo, our delivery is Pixieset. So this is our team Pixieset, our company Pixieset, and as you can see, like, we just put all of our albums on here. And let me kind of show you an example. I don't know if you've never used Pixieset. It's awesome. It's an album site. So let's take a look at this one. So you get to pick a main image here, and then of course you've got different albums. And so if they have like engagements, bridals, temple, reception, black and white, any of those, you can create different sub albums. And then of course this first one is your highlight one. So you're picking just brief highlights, like the best of the best. And then if you actually click into here, you can actually get the full breakdown of every single picture that was taken. They can download it, and Amelia will go over how to make this happen, but they can download each individual picture. They can download it as an album up here. It's really, really great for our clients. We are hosting it basically. We're going to try to host these for up to a year. So I think it's a great way. It's a great way to deliver our clients, our Pixie sets to our clients, you know. And so, yeah, that is that. And so that's how you're going to actually deliver it. You're going to upload it to here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is please like get each file down to like 2 or 3 megabytes, because if they're like 10 each, it adds up and our space goes really, really fast. So make sure you're exporting at like 2 to 3 megabytes. If they want a specific like really big print version, you can just export just those ones in 10 megabytes and send it to them on Google Drive. So we do use a company Google Drive. The login for that will, change. And of course, I don't want to post on a public video, so just text your team lead and they'll tell you. But this is our company Google Drive, just so you can kind of see it. And you're welcome to use this. We'll free up some space, but you're welcome to use this for whatever. This is where all the final videos are. The presets are all going to be here. Team weddings is where you're going to kind of put everything. So that's that for video. You're going to use this more to deliver for final wedding videos. For photo, you're actually just going to use Pixie like I said, unless they want like 3 or 4 really big files for blowups, in which case you'll create a new folder and send them that link. So we do hold the footage for 30 days. We hold it for 30 days, and that's, and the pictures, that's all we're legally responsible for. Let me show you one more thing real quick. So for video, we are going to be using box.com. Once again, text your team lead, we'll give you the login. Box.com, come into the wedding footage folder. This is actually where you're going to see, so you're going to pick our month right here. It's like for October, and you're going to create a folder for the name of the bride and groom, and you're going to dump all the footage in there. So as you can see, we've got our ceremony, first look, reception, temple, all kind of organized like this, and then the editors are actually going to pull it off of here, and the editors are going to get started working on it. We have unlimited storage, okay, in this folder, and as long as you go into wedding footage folder, we have unlimited storage. So we currently have like 40 terabytes worth of footage on here. We're going to host it for as long as we possibly can, just for our clients. So that's where you're actually going to dump your footage, and that you have to do that the moment you get home. We actually don't pay you until the footage is uploaded. So, okay, next thing is our Instagram. So we do have an awesome Instagram. It is growing. We got about 10,000 followers as of right now. Who knows where it'll be later. We love to post. This is everyone's work, and so I find it to post it. So Brennan manages it. That's me. I find it from Pixie. So if you're not, you have to be putting yourself on Pixie and putting it in the highlights section so that I can see it, and then I'm going to actually get these posted, and we've got great responses. It's a lot of fun. So this is what our clients, once again, this is also what they're kind of seeing. They're getting to see like some fun travels, some fun experiences. We do like to have like team stuff. So if you are actually like on a shoot and you want to do a fun, story or whatever, let me know. We can like basically film it like boomerang style on your phone, send it to Brennan just through text or Facebook Messenger, and I will get it uploaded. If you ever get like a text from a happy client, same thing. Go ahead and screenshot it, send it to Brennan, because we love to have that. It's just another place to put reviews. So, and of course we've got seasonal stuff. So we've got our Christmas sessions and stuff, and so should be a lot of fun. So we do have an Instagram. Go follow it, and then tell your clients to tag our Instagram, so that if somebody's like, well, let's see, it's all of our clients are kind of tagging us, and that's once again another portfolio, which is kind of fun. So, okay, we're gonna go over just some general onboarding stuff. So, when you first get assigned a wedding, you're gonna get an email, through Honeybook that says, congratulations, you have a wedding. So here's how it works. You will do 2 different phone calls with every single client. Okay, so the very first phone call happens within 1 week of you getting that email. I can't really emphasize that enough. That is so important that you do that, because if not, then they feel like I scammed them somehow, and they come angry at me, and they're like, hey, you took all our money and nobody's contacted me. What's going on? So you got to make sure you call them within a week, and we'll go over this in Honeybook. Basically, I'll show you real quick just so you know. So when you get a wedding, let's come look at like Amelia's. When you get a wedding, it'll say booked. Okay, this is the status it changes to when I send it over to you, and booked means that you have been assigned to it, but you have not contacted them. Okay, contacted means first phone call is done. So you don't want to have a lot here, because that means you're not making your phone calls, and it's really obvious to anyone who looks. So you want to make sure you do your phone calls, and then of course it'll give you an opportunity right over here to change it to booked. So please make sure that you are doing that. It's really important, and yeah. So if you want to know like just which ones, once again, we'll go over Honeybook in a different video, but if you want to know just which ones you still need to call, click right here. Now, obviously hers are in June and September next year. So that's fine because you don't have to call until 5 months before. So remember that. So 5 months before is kind of our policy. So right now, if it's December, which it is, you would be calling for April weddings, all your April weddings. And then when it hits January, you're calling for all your May weddings, doing your first phone call, just so you don't have to call and totally forget somebody. So, okay. So that's your first phone call. You're filling out information. So you're pretty much just saying, hey, how's it going? I want to introduce myself. Let's talk about it. So what when's your sealing time? Great. Or when's your ceremony? Perfect. What are you kind of thinking here? Okay, great. Yeah, you're gonna ask them all that information. Where's your reception? Where's the address? Are you doing a line? All that stuff. You're basically just gonna like go through and get all the information. Do you have any special requests? Would be a question. And we'll go through that exactly in just a moment. Now, the second phone call is gonna happen within 2 weeks of the wedding. Okay, so within 2 weeks, not 2 days, not 2 minutes, 2 weeks. So the second phone call is basically the same thing. It can be shorter, but you're just like, hey, how's it going? It's been 5 months. Hopefully it hasn't, tell me, has anything changed? Is there anything new that I need to know? Confirm all the details you picked up here. Make sure everything is the same. And then you say, perfect, I'll see you on your wedding day. Just remember, you are their main contact. So after I book them, you're a contractor with Brennan Media, but that means that is your wedding. So you own it and take care of them as if they are yours and as if you wouldn't found them yourself, and that is the expectation. Of course, we're here to help, but you're kind of their main contact for all their questions and stuff. So if they have questions, you shouldn't be like bouncing them around between the time that they've booked it and before their wedding. You should be saying, let me handle that. You go to your team lead and find an answer for them. Please, please, please get back to them in a timely manner. We strive to get back to all our clients within 12 hours. So it's okay. I know you're busy. You don't have to do it right away, but please text them back. If you don't know the answer, let them know you'll find it. So Asana was our old program. Let me change that. Honeybook. So the first phone call is easier to do with Honeybook in your face, and so you're actually going to have it pulled up. Let me show you this. And you're actually going to fill out the information. So let me show you one of my weddings that I've got. Okay. So when I'm talking to her, there's this notes section, and this is where I'm going to be filling out information. So bride wants, I don't know, close-ups, whatever they say. As you're talking, you're going to be like typing it all out. It's totally fine if they can hear the keyboard. Probably gives them a little bit more security anyways, because it makes it sound like you're professional. So there you go. You're going to type all your information here. Now this is, videographer and photographer can all see this. So if everyone's filling out some notes here, that means that every time you go back to it on your second phone call, you're just using all your notes right here. You're like, okay, I'm just going to go over everything with you. Also, if you click on project details here, it's going to give you like a venue or location. You can type that in. And we do have some information in here as well that we will usually be putting in. So we might move it from here to down there. But either way, it's important to review the package they booked, which Rachel should put in there for you. Review the package, talk about total earned, talk about, how much is still left, right, for them to pay. That should all be here. So also, one last thing, if they're like, hey, I'm ready to schedule my bridals, and you're like, what are you talking about? You don't have bridals. It doesn't say that. Then at that point, come here and look in the files. If you see that, it says that the invoice, and it says that all they booked was like the diamond package, which there's none here, so I'm sorry, this is a bad example. But if it says that they only booked the 1,200, then you can basically send them to me to upgrade, if that makes sense. Okay. The second phone call is just confirming everything, prepping them for the final payment. So you're going to ask them which method do they prefer. Do they prefer to do that invoice? And once again, we'll have another video going over this. But do they prefer to do Square for a final payment, or do they prefer to use Venmo? So you can go ahead and kind of pick there. And then make sure just see if they have any questions or special requests. That's mostly to protect you so that they can't freak out after. So yeah, we do use Square and Venmo, and watch the Honeybook training to see how to go over that. But the base rate for photographers is $350, including editing. The base rate for videographers is $300, not including editing. So yeah, most of your weddings are going to be like that. And that, like I said, that'll go up. There is an occasional upsell. We won't really talk about that because we are changing our prices, but they can use, you can technically swipe a card with a card reader. So I would go on Amazon, buy a card reader. They're like $6, and then I'll reimburse you. Just let me know. Or you can send an invoice, and I show you how to do that in the next video. So, okay, just a couple last housekeeping things, and then we're done. So creative rights, both of us, basically you and me as the company, and we retain creative rights to basically use your stuff on Instagram, to use your stuff anywhere, forever. You also create it, retain it so you can use all that stuff as well. So it benefits both of us. The Google Calendar, this is how you mark off days that you're unavailable, and we know not to book you a wedding. So if you look at December, this is a great example. I will add you to the calendar as soon as I get your email, and it's your responsibility to know 5 months in advance always your schedule. So make sure that you are always current 5 months in advance, and come mark the days you're unavailable, the weekends you're unavailable, okay, in red. So you're just going to literally click on it, make sure it's on BTM Weddings, turn it in red, say your name is unavailable. You don't have to say where you are or anything, just say you're unavailable, because if we see, 5 months out that you are available, we're going to start booking you weddings for those dates, if that makes sense. So that's important. And you're just going to use this. Like I said, make sure you're always on top of it. There is basically no switching once you've been assigned, unless it's an emergency. You can switch before you've made the first phone call if it's like within a few days, right? So basically within the first week of you getting it assigned, if you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that, you can get that switched. After you've made your first phone call, there's no switching unless there's an emergency. We've had issues. Okay. And then turnaround time is 3 weeks max. Okay, so preferably not that long, but once it gets beyond that, we have issues and people get angry and people want to basically get a refund, and that's messy for everyone. So if you feel like that's not possible, at that point you would talk to your team leader, Jellica, and say, hey, listen, I'm struggling with my turnaround times. What can we do? Okay. This sucks, but we're going to go over it. So strikes, this basically means you get 2 strikes before we basically stop working with you in the company. A strike is going to be if you really make a client mad by, let's do an example. Like, let's say that there's a picture they really wanted of her and her dad dancing, and you didn't get it, and it was an accident. But then, like, when she asked you about it, you were like, you just text her and you're like, oh yeah, sorry, we didn't get it. It's gone. And then she freaks out. She calls Brennan. She calls Rachel. She's screaming. She's mad. She was not treated well because it just seemed like you were really apathetic. Something like that. If they want a refund, that would be an example where you would get a strike, just basically for costing the company money or face. So don't do things that hurt the company's reputation. Don't do things that cost the company money. In the event of a refund, we do have the company will split it 50-50. Okay, so let's say they're really angry. They want 150. We offer them $150 refund. You would pay 75. The company would pay 75. That way, you're not getting fully penalized. And there is some protection there for you. So your team lead will help you. They'll be the ones that give out the strikes, but they'll also be the ones to try to prevent that. And so if you're worried about something happening, if you're worried that like, hey, this bride might just be crazy about this, talk to your team lead beforehand so you can basically have a plan to like fix it before it gets too bad. So yeah, 2 strikes, and then we'll officially stop working with you. So you basically get one, if you have 1 strike, that's okay. We'll work through it and hopefully learn from it. If there are 2, then at that point we'll kind of end our professional relationship and we'll kind of move on. So all right, so now we're just going to talk about the last thing is the team responsibilities. So who do you go to for what? So for Brennan, Brennan, aka me, so I don't know, I'm talking about myself in the third person. So I am working on the business rather than kind of in the business, if that makes sense. And so I'm working on building the brand, Instagram, setting up style shoots, selling weddings. I work pretty much Monday to Friday on the business, so it's a little bit different. Everybody else works weekends, right? They work, Saturdays, Fridays, like they're shooting weddings here and there. I'm more of a consistent, like I'm working kind of like a desk job. So you won't come to me for a lot of stuff. You'll come to me if somebody wants to upgrade a package. So if they want to add on bridals or engagements, they've got to do a deposit through me. And then new hires, if you've got somebody really interested, then you can come to me to see if we're hiring. That's pretty much it. That's all you'll come to me for. And the reason is not because I don't want to talk to you. It's because I genuinely don't really know a lot about a lot of the other stuff, because I don't use it as much because I don't shoot as much as some of these other people. So it's just not my specialty. So Rachel, I'm moving that. Rachel is our team secretary, except for a lot more than that, and she's amazing. So you're going to go to her for honeybook questions like, hey, how do I do this? You're going to go to her for scheduling. That's probably the biggest thing you'll go to her for. So if you are going to switch a wedding that she's assigned to, you do have to so you're first going to ask if somebody else can cover it. You're going to have to go through and ask them. And then you have to get permission for Rachel real quick and just make sure she's okay with that, because there might be a very unique situation with a bride that we just need to be careful about. And then crazy brides, if you've got a bride that's really angry at you, that's like, hey, you suck, you ruined my wedding day, whatever, you are going to basically call Rachel and say, this is a situation, and then Rachel, you, and the client will three-way the issue and make it all right. So those are the three things you go to her for. Team lead, so yours for photo would be Amelia currently, for video would be Daniel currently. You're going to go to them for crazy brides as well, but that's more of like before it's become a big issue, right? Before they go to the manager, if that makes sense. So if you're for example, if you were 10 minutes late to a wedding and they were mad, and it's still a situation where they're not they're not asking for a refund yet, go to your team lead and say, how do I handle this? That would kind of be the pre-crazy bride. Like, how do I handle this? What do I do? I want to offer them something to make it right, because we do have some things we can offer them. Company's happy to give them a gift card in this situation, but you're going to go to them for that. If it's gotten to a point where they're angry and they're like, I want to talk to Brennan, or whatever, then you're going to send them to Rachel. And the reason why is Rachel is not a photographer or videographer. She's not involved directly in the work, so it's not going to it's not going to get personal. It's going to stay strictly business, if that makes sense. When they come to me, Brennan, it gets really weird and personal, and it's kind of a mess, and it's not very professional, business-like, which we have to maintain. So I'll emphasize again, never give them my own personal number. Only give them the number on the website. You go to your team lead for training. If you feel like there's something you would like some training on, like, hey, I want to learn how to use a glide cam. Hey, I'm not shooting well with flash. Anything like that, they would be the one to go to, and they will give you some one-on-one training if you're struggling with edits or presets. And they might come to you and say, hey, there's a couple things that are not on brand, and so they'll come to you and they can help you out with that. And then just general questions, anything that comes up. That's your team lead is basically your first response. You're going to go to them for almost all your little questions that you'll have about, how to log into Google Drive, how to log into Honeybook. Make sure you're going to your team lead first and not kind of jumping here. And Angelica is our HR rep, and so this is more like personal issues. Okay, so this is hey, I have a concern that I have a sickness or whatever, or I'm pregnant and I can't take as many weddings anymore. I need to know what to do. Or if you're hey, I was shooting with this person and I have a huge concern about a member of our team. This is what they were doing. I don't think it's appropriate. Something like that you would go to Angelica for, and she would be your point of contact. For personal stuff, it will stay a secret with her. Even if it's an issue with me, you can go to her, you can talk to her. She's not going to come gossip to me. Her job is to handle it in the best way possible. And so she's the person that you'll go to. She'll be calling you to figure out your likes, dislikes, so she also handles the incentive program, so she can put together gift baskets for you if you are the winner. So that is pretty much it. I know that was a lot of information. We have created a way for you to remember all this. So here we have our contractor handbook. If you come into the company Google Drive, okay, so you can open that up, And this is basically all your information. This is like the wedding guide for you. So it goes through this, all the stuff we already talked about. Now this is important, your contractor agreement, which I'm going to have each of you sign. It's pretty simple, okay, but it just does say, it goes over that, so you have it. You're 1099, you're not W-2, meaning you have to pay your own taxes to make sure you're saving creative rights. Once you've been assigned to a wedding, it is your wedding and it's your responsibility to reschedule it. So make sure your schedules are clear. You have to provide your own equipment, and then the refund's 50-50. It just goes through everything. This is a contact sheet where you can actually talk to everybody, get their numbers. We'll update this, and it just goes through some etiquette. All right, in case you need it, I would recommend reading it. But a lot of this is what we've already gone over today. It does have minimum camera requirements, so if you have a friend that's interested, make sure that you are make sure they have at least the minimum requirements and all that stuff. So. This is where you're going to basically revisit any of this information, or I guess you could just watch this video again. So thank you so much. Sorry that was long, but hope that should be most of what you need. Watch the other videos in the playlist and then take that quiz, and we'll be ready to start assigning you some weddings.